I have 3 different products that I'm going to share with you inside of this video, and the reason that I want to break down multiple is to show you the different things that are going to change the amount of money you have to spend in order to test a product from a marketing expense perspective. This is a question I get asked all the time, so I want to give you 3 separate products that sell at different price points and that are in different niches so that you can understand how much money you should be spending before you finally call it quits with a product that might not be working. Again. Hey, what's going on everyone? Hayden here coming back at you with a brand new video. And in this one, I'm going to be sharing something that I got asked about this last Thursday on Instagram. And I was like, you know what? This is a great question because it is different in every situation. So it's one of those things where there can never exactly be a right answer, only a good guideline depending on what you're doing. So I want to help you understand that guideline over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. And before we do that, I do want to announce we're doing another giveaway for a custom designed Shopify store that is preloaded with products already on it. 1 or 2 of them are going to be some hot trending products that you can start selling immediately. So all you have to do to enter that, it's 100% free, is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below why you would specifically benefit from having a store built for you. I know everybody has a different situation, a different skill set, so I'm just curious on what you think you would benefit by getting that, because we want to make sure that we're helping out someone who needs it, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to throw up a screenshot here every single time that I'm showing you a product. So again, there's 3 different ones that are 3 unrelated products. I actually have one of them in the other room. I'll grab it in a moment. But 3 different products that do not relate at all. They're actually selling at different price points. So when you ask this question, I'm gonna make sure that the camera is focused here a little bit. I know it's been going out of focus. When you ask this question, how much money should I spend with Facebook ads is the most common one, or with Instagram influencers, Google ads, whatever you're doing for marketing, it could even be Snapchat ads. People always ask, should it be a $300 test, a $500, $1,000? Should I spend my full $1,000? I get a lot of people who say, I only have X amount. Should I spend all of it on one product? Here's my rule of thumb. The way that I started e-commerce was a complete and utter shit show. So I always recommend that people give themselves plenty of room because, a good rule in life that I've kind of learned is anything you want to happen usually can and will happen. It'll just take longer than you expected. Okay, so kind of try to prepare for that, but do the action and the work to try to get it done quicker. So what I mean by that from, relating this to your e-commerce expenses perspective is assume that your first product will fail. Assume that your second product will fail, and assume that that third one might start getting you some traction. So give yourself at least like 3 products worth of room, maybe 2-3 months. So spend slowly. That's always my advice to someone starting. You have to navigate the platform. When it comes to advertising, there is so many things that you just can't possibly learn or know until you actually get caught in a mistake or you're just in the trenches doing the work, okay? So give yourself, and this is just my general opinion, maybe $1,000, $2,000 over the course of multiple months. Okay, that's extended out, which means you don't need all the money up front. You could start with $200, but you're only spending $10 a day on your Facebook ads and you're just starting really, really slow. You just want to see if you get a sale. If you get a sale or 2, that's great. And we're going to get into those specifics here in a moment, okay? So the first product that I want to throw up here is kind of a unique one. It's something that it did sell well for a while. This did really, really good with Instagram influencers, and it did good with Facebook targeting parents. So usually parents who have kids, younger kids, ages like 3 to 10 years old. These did really well. So these are cable drops. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically you would stick this on like the end of a desk or something, right here, and your cable would run from behind the desk. And instead of the cable always getting lost and like falling back behind it, it kind of holds it in place and then you can pull it out whenever you need it. Oh, we went out of focus. Anyways, cool product idea, right? But this is a little bit of a different fun version, right? It's just little animals and whatnot. I mean, you can see it in here. It's really simple. It's a super inexpensive product. It's, in my opinion, not something that you're going to make, millions and millions of dollars drop shipping. I know there's probably people who have built a full company off of products like this, but at the end of the day, it's something that's inexpensive. People aren't going to view it as, being worth $50. So what we were doing is selling a package of them, all sorts of different types of animals. So we'd have like an aqua pack, right? Where it's, different sharks and fish and animals that are in the ocean. And then you have, different land ones and different types of, animals, or they could have like a mixed pack. And so you sell a pack of like 10 of these, you could sell it for like $15. So the cost was really low. The selling price was low as well. But one of the cool things, and this is what you want to think about and keep in mind whenever you're considering testing a product, is if the product is cheaper, like meaning you're selling it for less money, it's going to cost you less to actually finish that test. Okay, and by test, I mean, giving that product 3-4 weeks worth of time, trying different interests, maybe trying different marketing strategies to really see if it's actually going to work or not. Now, the easiest indicators are the early ones. And what I mean by that is if you're selling cable drops, for an example, if you launch 5 to 10 different ad sets on Facebook, you're running them for 3-4 days and you don't have one sale, that's a little concerning if you have 0 sales. So what you should do if you find yourself in that situation, no matter what product you're running, if you find yourself in a situation with absolutely no sales in those first 3 to 4 days, the first thing you should do is check if your payment processor is properly hooked up to your store. I would do this via a test order. Okay, order something off your site yourself, and you can just cancel the order and refund it. The second thing you should do is make sure that your pixel is properly set up, because it's not going to track anything. Facebook's not going to help you optimize very much if the pixel's not firing. Okay, so obviously if you have 0 sales on your Facebook account and there's 0 on the store, there might not be an issue with the pixel, but that is something you want to make sure is set up. Those 2 things are usually the most common mistake or thing that just get overlooked or missed that I see people make. Okay. Now, the second example inside of here would be this product, which is kind of a women's geared watch. It's a little bit more oriented towards females. Both people could buy it, but this was hot for a long, long time. I've done a lot of stuff in the watch space over the last 3 years. It's kind of been on and off. The watch market is tough just because in my personal opinion, my professional opinion, I guess, it's just something where there's a lot of competitors. It's tough to kind of brand yourself in that space and really, make it seem valuable. But at the end of the day, you can get watches when you're drop shipping for very inexpensive amounts from a cost perspective. Even Apple, who's selling Apple watches, I'm sure those $300-$400 watches don't cost them more than $5 to make, maybe $10 tops. You can get watches on AliExpress for $1, $2 that have like a week or 2 shipping. So it's really not a bad place to start. You just want to make sure that you have a small price point. So usually when I'm starting a product, especially that I think might be a little bit tougher on the competition edge of things, what I do is I just lower the price. So if I'm getting it for $3, I think I could sell it for $20 or $25. I'll sell it for like $15 or $12 to start, just to make sure I get a couple of sales. Because I want to make sure the pixel's working and I want to make sure that orders are actually going through. So that's why I want to test that payment processor that I have attached. So that could be Stripe, Shopify Payments, whatever it is you want to use, or a third-party gateway. So testing it small as well with a small selling price point will help you get more sales faster. Okay, so if you're selling a product, you want to get those initial 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 sales to help Facebook learn who your customer is. That's the whole point of having a pixel. So that's why I do want to kind of price it lower. And again, the cheaper the product is, the cheaper you're selling it for, you're going to be able to spend less money while testing. So again, on a watch, I would spend $300, $400, $500 before I call it quits. I would run it for a few weeks. If nothing's working, I check the pixel, I check the payment processor. I would, turn off those ad sets. I would try something else. Maybe I would try a different ad creative. I would try a carousel ad with multiple pictures instead of the video ad. I would try changing the ad copy. I would try changing what it's optimizing for, right? Instead of a purchase conversion ad on Facebook, it would be an add to cart. And if you're not doing Facebook, that's totally fine. If you're doing Instagram influencers, try 2 or 3 influencers. Change up the post, change up the picture, and if nothing's working, then maybe it's a product problem and you need to move on to the next one, okay? The next one, I'm gonna throw up a picture here, but I'm actually gonna grab it. I think I have one over here as well. This is something I sold kind of middle of last year for like 6 or 7 months. I know a lot of people who did really well with this, and it's funny because the way we were marketing this product is actually for something that it wasn't meant to be used for. So let me check this out. All right, so this right here is a miniature fridge. Now, by the looks of it, it might look fairly simple. You got some plugs in here in the back. What would you think this is used for? Well, originally this was designed to be something you put in a car, okay? It's like a little fridge for your car. You could keep a soda in there, some food, whatever. But it was very much so repurposed, and this is why it's pink. It was repurposed more so for cosmetics. So you would sell this to females primarily, and they were just buying this stuff up like crazy. And you could put makeup and whatnot in here, because I guess there's certain things where it's more beneficial if it's cold, or it keeps the product longer and it doesn't spoil. It's not exactly my area of expertise, but it is definitely a cool product. There's benefits to it. It was something that people had not really seen before in the e-commerce space. So, it got a lot of engagement. A lot of people were just kind of commenting about the product, right when we started the ads, and it did blow up quick. Now, we were running into issues with the product cost. It was super expensive, so you had to sell it for a lot, which again, if you're selling something, we were selling these for like $80. Well, if you're selling it for $80, you have to spend more money to test that than you would the watch or the cable drops that, again, are just examples. You don't have to sell those, but that would be less expensive products for someone to buy. So a good rule of thumb for you to follow on your budgets, at least from a Facebook ad or a Google ad perspective, it could even be Snapchat, but primarily with Facebook, if you're selling something for $80, you should definitely be running like $20 a day ads minimum. If you're selling something for $20, you could run $5 and $10 a day ads. So the rule there is usually about 1/3 of whatever you're selling the product for is what you should actually be spending on a daily basis towards your marketing efforts. And that's not everything in total, that's per ad set on Facebook. So if you want to test 5 different interests, like for watches, if you want to try Tiffany & Co., you want to try watches, you want to try fashion, all these different interests one by one, it would be X amount per ad set, so $10 per ad set or $20 per. So it definitely adds up quick, because if you have $1,000 budget and you want to give yourself 2 months of testing, you only have like $15 a day to spend. So hopefully as soon as you make sure that the pixel's tracking right, you're getting some sales on the store, which means your payment processor is working, which is excellent. Well, now you're starting to recuperate some of that ad spend in the form of revenue. So as long as you're starting to make a little bit of it back, that's going to extend out how long you can use that money for while you're building some data, you're getting familiar and experienced with whatever platform it is you are advertising on. So my recommendation to someone who's starting e-commerce, I would probably not go for a product like this. Just if you have a smaller budget, it's going to be a little bit less stressful. You don't have to, nitpick over every little detail. You're not going to have to watch it like a hawk. You can be a little bit more hands-off and let Facebook do its thing or whatever platform you're using, and you can afford to maybe have something not work because you're spending a lot less money. Okay, something like this, the product cost is expensive, and the only real way to drop that is to order a significant amount of them in bulk. So it really does depend on the product that you're marketing and what it is you're looking to do, but definitely try to follow those rules of thumbs with, just try to make things last. Don't put all of your budget. If you have $1,000, don't spend it in a week. It's just dumb. I see people do it all the time, and it works for some people, but if you don't understand a platform, there's thousands of budgets, and there's tens of thousands of different outcomes. There's millions of outcomes on every situation with Facebook ads. So it just takes time to learn the platform, to navigate it, to make sure that you're checking the right boxes and Facebook's not screwing you over. So do your due diligence, make sure you put in the work, you learn how to do the marketing piece, go acquire whatever information it is that you want to do that with, and then make sure that you start slow. That's always my advice, okay? So if you have any questions about this, feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. I'd be more than happy to give you an answer, maybe put it together in a whole video or something, but that's kind of a good way to structure your spending, because it's usually the product that doesn't get sales for like 2 weeks, but you've already spent a few $100s, and that might be a significant portion of the amount of money you've put towards this. So it might upset you a little bit if you spent a few $100s and gotten no sales, but don't let the emotions let you keep it running. You have to make a logical decision before you run out of money, and this is kind of a mistake that I made. I did end up spending through all of my money when I was first starting. So do your best to make it last. Start slow, make sure it's working, and then just slowly build up from there. Spend more as you're starting to make a little bit more. If something's not working, switch products. There's no shame in that. I've tried hundreds of products over the years. Most of them have not worked, okay? That's just the simple fact of reality. Some just won't work for you, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to enter that giveaway. Just comment why you think you would benefit from having a store built by my own personal development team who builds my stores. And we'll go through, pick a few products on there, help you out with something that's already selling so that maybe you can kickstart your marketing, get something going a little bit faster, but just let us know why that would benefit you. I'm going to pick one person at random who did that and announce it in probably 2 videos from now, okay? So make sure to stay tuned to the channel. Again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.